Can we heal Clancy's aberration? No. Who is Clancy? Remember Clancy Wiggum, the chief of police on The Simpsons? That's Clancy. Can we change Clancy Wiggum from being anything but what he's always been on The Simpsons? Matt Groening, of The Simpsons, possibly could, if he had it in his head that he wanted Clancy to resign as police chief and perhaps go to Tibet and become a monk. Have we seen that? I mean, they might do something like that, but I stopped watching The Simpsons a long time ago. Why? I'm no particular reason. If I saw it again, I usually find them cute. They're entertaining, creative. I just have many other things on my agenda, and I never seem to watch The Simpsons. And I really do like Family Guy, and I haven't watched it in, I don't know, 3 years maybe. So, it's like, even though these shows are cute, I don't set in my smartphone an alarm that says, these shows are on. And so I don't watch them, and I don't know, I probably could get them on the internet or something, but anyway, what's the point of changing Chief Clancy Wiggum into a Tibetan monk? Because I can't help Clancy Wiggum. Who can I help? Maybe I can help the barber. Do I need a haircut yet? Who can I help? Well, I mean, I look and I see the number of views. Some of my videos don't get any views. Sometimes it takes, 2 weeks later, I'll look back and someone viewed a video that I made 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, occasionally someone somewhere, at least they watch I don't know how long it is when you start viewing a video. I don't know how long it is before the ticker goes, oh, someone watched it. Did they watch the whole video, or did they watch 5 seconds of it and say, I don't know, I can't. I don't know. But did I help anybody by making these videos? Logically, no. Illogically, I can follow the Arcturian Council, who are extraterrestrials channeled by Daniel Scranton. The Arcturian Council are non-physical, a group of intelligences, apparently from Arcturus, which is another star far, far away. And they are in another dimension, whatever that means. But somehow Daniel is able to use his mind to connect to them and give us their thoughts. And they say that even if no one watches my video, it somehow becomes part of the human collective consciousness, and it helps humans. Is it my speaking it into the phone that puts it into the collective consciousness? Is it my intention to share it that puts it into the collective consciousness? Or was it already there and my talking about it doesn't do anything one way or another? The Arcturian Council doesn't answer that question. But anyways, it's here, and if you're one of the lucky few that do watch my channel, why lucky? As I've said in many of my videos, I set my intention a long time ago to become enlightened in this lifetime. How many jackasses are on YouTube or Instagram? Most of them. 99.999999999% of jackasses on these social media have not set a target of higher consciousness for their lifetimes. And who gets the most views? Jackasses. But, if you've been on the planet any length of time at all, you know that Marvin and I on this channel used to do a series called The Idiot's Parade, and or Sippy Cup, my friend says, The Idiot's Parade. So, The Idiot's Parade is idiots watching idiots do idiocy. And I mean, it's true, there are spiritual teachers on YouTube that do get a lot of hits. Am I jealous of them? Um, no. Am I curious why they get all the hits and I don't? Yes. Do I have an answer as to why? It's because if you're watching this video is for you. And sure, you could go watch these other teachers and get something out of them, but you chose to watch this one, and this is for you. And the universe has said, um, the other ones are pretty much idiots, and they just didn't find Bob. You did. You get the benefit of listening to me. The other ones are going to continue to be idiots. Not all of them. I mean, if someone is listening to Eckhart Tolle, they're going to get good advice. If they listen to Dr. David R. Hawkins, they're going to get great advice. If they're listening to Howard Stern, they're going to be a toilet turd person for the rest of their life. You're never going to get any value out of Howard Stern. Maybe a laugh. One of my friends is reminding me that one of the highest forms of consciousness is comedy. So why do I say you're not going to learn anything from Howard Stern? Because he's not giving you highest wisdom. If you laugh at things, it's mostly at the expense of other people. Howard Stern loves to cut up everyone. And what does that leave Howard Stern? I don't know. A lot of people listen to this person. You wonder why there's so many troublesome things on the planet? It's because Howard Stern is listened to instead of Bob or Eckhart Tolle or David R. Hawkins. Because he's on, Sirius satellite radio and you can go and listen to him all day long. Blah, 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 blah. But if you listen to one episode of Howard Stern, they all sound the same. I remember when Howard Stern was on TV, and I did watch some episodes of his TV show. But, sometimes I get in my friend's truck, and he's always got it on Howard Stern. And I go, you're serious? You're still listening to Howard Stern? A million years ago, he was on TV. He sounds the same. Exactly the same. They're talking about the same thing. They've got the same idiotic laughs, the same idiotic setup. It's an idiot's parade. Are you advancing your consciousness listening to him? No. Are you laughing? Laughing? I find there's a lot of forced laughter. It's Howard Stern and the people that are on the show have forced laughter. It's sarcastic. It cuts people up. And my friend whose truck is always set to Howard Stern, sometimes he has a forced laugh. So it's not even good comedy. Another video of mine, I talked about how I go on YouTube and I click the trending to see, what are people really watching? Millions of views for some idiot thing. Tens of thousands of views for some other idiot thing. It's mostly idiot things. Millions and millions of people are watching idiot things on YouTube. And then when I come to the people who are working on raising their consciousness, some of them get, I don't know, some of them are doing really well, like 14,000 views. And I go, wow, that's pretty good. But, when I compare it to, a new music video that gets 3 million views, 14,000 versus, mm, what does it mean as far as the number of people on the planet that are working to advance their consciousness? A lot of these people are misled because they think they're bringing the rest of humanity with them to higher consciousness. This is a problem that you need to be aware of. If you go and start experiencing higher states of consciousness, um, other humans, it doesn't mean they're going to have your experiences. And are you raising the collective? Why do I go, because Dr. Hawkins said that if you raise your consciousness, you counterbalance the negativity of a hell of a lot of lower consciousness people. But he also said that the average person, he called it a householder, in other words, someone who's got, a job that they work 9 to 5 and they bought a house and maybe they got a family. He said an average person like that only raises their consciousness a few points in a whole lifetime. Whereas someone who is actively pursuing higher consciousness can have enormous leaps of consciousness. Enormous leaps. How much is not limited. In history, there's stories in history. I don't know of anything present day, but in historical record, people who went to very high levels of consciousness who started off as murderers. So you're really not limited. If you decide that you want to change your life and you want to go to higher consciousness, you're not limited. The people that are limited are the ones who, is it because they've never heard of higher consciousness? Could be. Could be. The company that you keep, definitely. If you hang around with people that are only interested in watching professional sports on television and drinking beer, you're not going to advance your consciousness. How do I know? I know some people that I used to drink beer and watch football with when I was in my 20s. They're still drinking beer and watching football. And I can't talk to them about higher consciousness. They're not interested. And if I do bring it up, they look at me and they say, "Are you okay?" It makes me laugh because I'm sorry. I mean, you can't change people. And as far as the people saying we're going to raise the collective consciousness and they're all going to change, I haven't seen any evidence of that. Can you influence people? The story Dr. Hawkins said was he went to visit his, I think it was his brother and his sister-in-law, and his sister-in-law was a real pain in the ass. A real pain in the ass. And he said, I think it was Dr. Hawkins, or maybe it was Eckhart Tolle. Anyway, let's just say it was Dr. Hawkins. And his sister, while he was in the presence of his sister-in-law, after a certain amount of her being exposed to Dr. Hawkins and his higher states of consciousness, she seemed to be better. But the story goes is once he left her presence, she dropped back to being an asshole again. So it's possible that your aura can affect other people when you're around. How big of an effect? I don't know. How big is your aura? I used to muscle test and I would get your aura, mine, affected people for possibly miles around me. I muscle tested it. I mean, I didn't make it up. You have to look up muscle testing if you don't know what that is. It's what chiropractors sometimes use to see if people have allergies. But I used to muscle test everything, and I got miles. So, what does it mean? It means I went over the 15-minute mark, and I can't put this on Instagram TV. Shit. Someone on Instagram is not going to get to see this video. Why does Instagram limit us to 15 minutes? I don't know. But my spirit guides said, Beacon, look up at the time, and it was already 15:20. So they failed. They should have told me at 14:20, so I could have wrapped it up. Anyways, it's too long to go on Instagram. And as far as changing the collective consciousness by raising your consciousness, the reason I'm not saying yes is because of that. Dr. Hawkins saying, well, you'd only get 4 points. But is there a tipping point? This was a Malcolm Gladwell book, The Tipping Point. And I don't know if it's an official scientific theory, but he gives anecdotal evidence that once a certain number of people or a certain number of things hit a certain concentration, it flips the whole system. And that's what we're hoping for. Enough people get on the higher consciousness bandwagon that we can flip the whole collective of all the idiots into higher consciousness without them doing anything at all except being alive at this present time. I think Dolores Cannon, who did consciousness research by hypnotizing hundreds or thousands of people, I think Dolores Cannon said that on the planet today are a lot of people who are working on higher consciousness. And there's a hell of a lot of people that are here to experience Earth ascension, which is going to higher consciousness, by coming along for the ride. In other words, not doing anything at all. So you've got a very small minority of humans that are working on higher consciousness, and a whole pile of humans that are the idiot's parade. And somehow, through hypnosis, Dolores Cannon was able to talk directly to the subconscious. That's what it called itself, the subconscious voice. Through many different people, she got the same consciousness by hypnotizing all different kinds of people, and she could talk to the same ongoing conversation through different people. Weird. Well, you need to go investigate Dolores Cannon. Do I agree with everything that she comes up with? I'm not hypnotizing people, so I'm not getting the same answers as her, but I read some of her book. What I do is I go to Amazon and I get the free download, so I don't have to buy all these books. And some of the things that came out, I have a hard time believing they're true. Is Malcolm Gladwell's book about the tipping point relative to higher consciousness? It makes for a damn good story. Can I prove it's going to work? Can I prove it's going to work? My spiritual intention, according to Dr. Hawkins, is 850. Everyone else that's going on a higher consciousness enlightenment kick are using the spiritual will of 850. Someone says it's an assumption. Why? Is it an assumption? Because they might be doing enlightenment for not using their spiritual will? So they're like a fair weather enlightenment person, and they're not really actively pursuing enlightenment. It's like, oh, on my bucket list of things to do, oh, I'm going to be enlightened like Buddha. So they're not a serious student of higher consciousness. They're not a serious spiritual student. I'll give you that. I bet you there's quite a few people that have heard of spiritual enlightenment like Buddha and say, oh yeah, I want that too. But they're not serious about it. They didn't buy any books about enlightenment or Buddhism, and they never went to a meditation center. And, it's just, they heard the story that there's Buddhism is a religion. Is Buddhism a religion? Yes and no. Some people use it as a religion. It's like a lot of people say they're Christian because, at Christmas or Easter, they go to a church. Or maybe they did it 25 years ago and they said, yeah, I'm Christian. I went to a church once. So that's a religion because you don't know anything about, you know, who the religion was founded after. I mean, was Jesus a Christian? No, apparently Jesus was a Jew. He founded Christianity? No, the Christian church came hundreds of years after. Is he a mythological or a real person? I don't know. Buddha did teach people during his lifetime. I mean, supposedly Jesus did too, but, it wasn't a huge number of people. Have we talked enough? My spirit guides are saying.